Hello guys and welcome back to Bharat Solutions Corner. So this is part 2 of our uh, tutorial of code.org on how to make a cricket game, T20 cricket game on code.org. So in this video, as I said in the earlier part 1 video, if you haven't seen it, we have discussed many things, which is the sprite formation. So you must see this. You must see that in order to understand how to, and what are the components of making a sprite. So let's get started. So today we are gonna learn how to make a function and call it in the function draw. So for making a function, uh, there is not much into making a function. First put the word function, then put the name of the function. For example, I have put here ball. So a function is a set of commands that has to be done if it is called in the program or inside the function draw. So in the real JavaScript, there is function setup, function preload, and many things like that. Uh, but we don't have it in here because it's already preloaded. Code.org has many things already preloaded for easier learning of JavaScript. So, as I was saying, the things we need to do to make a function is first create the function by putting the word function, then the name of the function, then opening and closing brackets, then the curly brackets, and inside that you have to put what should be executed when the function is being called inside the program. Sorry. The function ball, as I've put in here, sets the velocity. So now this is another function of which is used for a sprite. Ball dot set velocity. Uh, okay, wait. Ball. Okay, I think it's not here. So I'll say it. Ball dot set velocity sets velocity of x and y. I think most of you have understood by now, but those who are there who doesn't understand what are these velocity x and velocity y. You see this velocity x and velocity y? Okay, I'll tell you. Velocity x, first if we want to know what is set velocity, we need to know what are the velocity x and velocity y. So, what is velocity x? Velocity x defines the horizontal velocity of an object. Like for example, if we give a sprite dot a sprite any sprite dot velocity x, and in the brackets we give a positive integer, the sprite will move to the right, and if it's a negative integer it will move to the left. So velocity x defines the horizontal movement of a sprite, and velocity y is the vice versa. That means it defines the vertical movement of a sprite. So if it's a positive integer, it goes down. If it's a negative integer, it goes up. So, but if there are two, velocity x and velocity y together combine to form a slanting movement, which means like I've given a lesser velocity x and more velocity y, like an integer. As considering the number values, the y velocity is more. I need it because my what do you say? The vertical speed, the vertical. It also defines the speed also. Okay, when we increase the y velocity, uh, it mainly defines the speed, uh, but the direction changes when we add velocities to both x and y. Uh, so I have a lesser x velocity and more negative y velocity, which means it's going to go up, but at the same time, it has a slight tilt towards the right side, it's a positive integer, 0. 0.5. It's not negative 0. 0.5, so it's going to go left. But um, in order to reach the batsman, or no, literally the stumps. Okay, in order to reach the stumps, I have set a slanting movement, that is, I have put velocity x also in order to make the ball go slanting. Uh, the velocity y is negative 4, which means it goes up, but at the same time, it has a velocity x, which is a positive integer, which makes it go with the velocity x, but in a slanting position, as we have given velocity x. So I hope you have understood. When velocity x for the horizontal movement, velocity y for the vertical movement, when these both combine, we form slanting movement. So I think you have understood. So in order to make a slanting movement, which majority of it goes to the right and not up, you have to make the uh, numerical value. I say numerical without considering this integer sign. Uh, so the numerical value of x velocity must be more in order to make a slanting movement to reach the right or the left part and not the up or the down part. If you want to reach the up or the down part, you have to make the velocity y more and velocity x less. So I need to go to the stumps, which is at the up, but at the same time I am a little off position. So that means I cannot go straight, but I have to go a slanting direction, which means like a straight but a little tilt towards the right. Um I'll show you. When I press the play button, you see it's not straight. As you can see, there is nothing in front of it, just the text which goes after I press space button. So when I put the x velocity, it goes in a slanting motion towards the stumps. So now I hope you have understood velocity x and velocity y. So if you haven't, put it in the comments and I will clear it for you. If I can, if it's a doubt which I can clear. So I'm not a pro, right? Actually, I have a lot more to study. But this is what I know. I'm sharing what I know. So I think that's good. So this set velocity combines to instead of typing ball dot velocity x is equals this and ball dot velocity y is equals this, we can put it in a single statement called ball dot set velocity function. Inside that, the first is the x velocity and the second is the y velocity. It both combines. Like if you want to go to a straight line, put this as 0, then it will go as a straight line because there is no x velocity, as 0 doesn't have a value. But now I have a point 0.5, that 5 by 10 of the x velocity, which means it can go a slanting motion. So I think you understood the velocity concept. Now on to the main concept, that is inside the function draw. The function draw is a main function in JavaScript. Function draw executes the commands in it until it is told to stop by a loop. Loops, I think we will discuss it in the next part. Now let's discuss about the background. It's nothing. Just type the word background and it clears the background. Like if we don't have a background, the problem which occurs is that uh, I'll show you myself. Okay, I don't have the background. Okay, you see this? Actually, uh, it creates a copy of itself. Without the background, it creates a copy of itself on the screen, but it's not a sprite, it's just a copy. uh, so that's not what we need. We need to make this go away, but actually this has already gone away. What is here is the copy of that sprite which was earlier there. So In order to erase or clear the background or the copies, we have to put this background function, and inside the bracket you might have seen the word. I'll show you. You saw this color. I'll show you color. Okay, background. Inside the brackets you see this drop down menu. It shows us colors of our choice, but you can add any color, like uh, now I'm choosing here. Oh boy, no, 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 no. Wait, control Z. Okay, so you to define a color, we can either put white, red, or something like that. But there are colors which the computer does not understand by putting it. Like when we put mauve or like maroon, that's too complicated colors, which are not simple colors or primary colors. So in order to get those colors, we have this thing called html code color I mean sorry html color code. Sorry, html color code, which defines a color with a specific code in it. I think most of you have seen in the paint, paint software. uh, it shows some kind of code, and you might not know the advantages of that at that time. But now you know the advantage because it defines a color in a programming software. That's one use. I don't know the others right now. So what we need now is to know the advantage of color inside in our program. So as my grasshopper's background color is this one, hash A3D298. That means this kind of green. Yeah, this kind of green. I've put it in this way. So um, that then if we have the background in a color, there's no more a copy. The copy is there no longer. So that's background function. It clears the background. Okay, that's in short. It clears the background. It cleans the background. That's all you need to know about background. Show mobile controls is nothing. That's not necessary. But even though I'll tell you, show mobile controls is to show the controls of a mobile. The first one uh, says if we have to wait. I'll show you. Mm, I should not tell you the wrong thing, right? So I have to make it. Yeah. Okay. You see this? First, uh, these are the parameters. The space button visible, which means, yeah, it indicates whether the space button should be visible inside a phone. You see mobile controls inside the phone, and D-pad visible. D-pad means it's the short form of direction pad. Uh, whether it should be visible or not, direction pad uh, moves the sprite. Even though we have given only the if right click, it should go to the right or something like that, comments like that. The d-pad will automatically translate it for itself to be in the mobile, or like if we have given WSD controls and all, I think it won't understand because that's not arrow keys and d-pad is linked. Yeah, in order for the mobile to control it. D-pad four way, that means if D-pad four way is true, then it goes only to four ways. If it's false, it goes to eight ways. That is, for example, north, south, east, west. If the D-pad four way is true, but if it's false, it goes to north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, and southwest. directions like that. And this one, mobile only, it shows that should it be in only in mobile or both in mobile and on computer. So that's about mobile controls. So I first true, which means that space button should be visible, and then D-pad four-way. That's also D-pad visible. Yeah, D-pad visible. That's also true. The D-pad should be visible in mobiles, and it's not four-way. It's eight-way. So I have put it false so that it can go to eight ways like slanting directions, and it shows only in mobile. That's why I put true. If I put false, it will come here. The space button is an orange color button, and the D-pad four-way is a white button inside another circle. So that's about show mobile controls. Created sprites creates an invisible edge sprites at the edges of the canvas. So it is for another thing which we call bounce off. I'll show you that. Or not only bounce off, many things. Bounce off, I will cover it in another section. So created sprites, I'll show you the functions. Now ball dot bounce off batsman. This sprite dot bounce off target. First I have the sprite here and the bounce off function here and the target here. So the ball is the thing that's going to bounce off from the batsman if we put a function like this. Uh, yeah, the first if we have to put the sprite name which has to be bounced off from the target which is put inside the brackets after the bounce off function. So bounce off defines a sprite where to bounce off. That's the target. So if and all I'll show you. Now this is all we cover in today's section. The next section I'll show you about the conditional loops inside this game. So you do until this, and till the next part, that is part 3 comes. Wait for it. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and comment your suggestions and where to make it better or something. So if you found this helpful, please share this video too. So thanks guys for watching. We will see you in the part 3.